tell us, sir, what is polo? You know, so for someone who's watching the show this morning, they want to understand and appreciate this sport. What is polo? What is it? Is it just riding a horse around a course or something? What is it?
Well, polo is a lot of things, but just to clarify, I'm not the co-founder of Nairobi Polo Club.
Thank you.
I'm the co-founder of a company called FNBC, which is Food and Bev Consults. This is a facilities management company that looks after prestige, social, and luxury private members clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we come in, we lease off a property, and we professionally manage it to levels which are of private prestige social members clubs.
That's the entrepreneurial side of you.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So Polo is our first sign-up. The Nairobi Polo Club
is your first sign-up.
Is our first sign-up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we've taken over the management of the clubhouse and grounds. So the clubhouse consists of the bar, restaurant, and then they have a 24-acre property, which is directly under us now. So it's on a long-term contract. That's about 5 years, which is renewable, of course. And we are going to be, and up and above that, we are also going to sign up about another 2 properties in the next coming 1 year.
Mm. How's the journey been?
Well, it's still new because this actually started in September. That's when we formed the company last year. But it's been a vision of mine for the past 5 years, so I've actively been working towards it. You know, on entrepreneurship spirit, it means that you need to have set goals which you actively go after. And every single step of the way, it's been building up to this stage. So it's been an easy transition from what I did before, which you know, into what I've gotten into.
Mm.
Yes.
And when I hear you,
yeah.
Obviously the entire, as a business, obviously there's what brings people there.
Yes.
And that's the game of polo, right?
Definitely.
Mm.
So switching into polo, polo is a game in Kenya started in 1907. So I can imagine it's over 100 years right now. I think it's 110 years now.
True.
And it's what we refer to as sport of kings. You know, it was first started in India, mm-hmm. and then spread to the UK, and was known to be played by the royal family until today. It's patronized by the royal family. So it's a very expensive hobby.
Very expensive hobby.
Very expensive hobby.
Hold it right there.
Yeah.
We have a clip of the polo match.
Yeah.
So let's have a listen and let's have a look at what we are talking about, and then we bring it back to the table. Have a look. Nelson, we can see there's a lot of pomp before the sport starts.
Exactly. Yes.
And well, how many players are supposed to be on a course?
So on a course, the pitch consists of 270 by 150 meters,
yes.
and consists of 8 teams of 4 players. So 2 teams of 4 players.
Right.
So the goal is to score. Using a mallet and a very hard ball,
yes.
to score a goal like it's done in hockey.
Yes.
It's actually hockey on a horse.
Hockey on a horseback.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and wow, one needs to be you have to be prolific, or rather you have to be very good at how you handle your horse.
Exactly. Let me give you a bit of background towards that, because first of all, you need a very good horse. Polo horses are not like the normal race horses and things. These are pedigree horses.
Yeah.
For instance, the ones in Kenya, guys buy them for about $20,000, which is like $2 million.
That's $2 million, Bob.
Yeah, and for you, on a bare minimum, you need 6 horses. If you're doing poorly, you need 6 horses. You find
per person.
Per person, because in a game you need to have 4. you can only ride a horse for at least 15 minutes. And because it's a
Wow.
really fast-paced game.
It's a really fast-paced
It's
game.
really fast turning, very precise and it really takes a toll on the horses.
Yes.
So you need 4 horses per game.
And how long is the game?
The game is almost an hour. So it's divided into 4, which
Right.
these 4 units are called chakras.
4 breaks, and they're called chakas.
Yes,
Right.
chakras.
Mm.
So each chakra lasts about 7 minutes, and you get a 3-minute break in between.
Right.
At halftime, you get 5 to 10 minutes break.
Right.
And then, so it lasts a total of about an hour.
And then you have to change your horse, like 4 of
You
them.
need to 4 of them.
$20,000, 2 million bob a
2
horse.
million bob a horse. And the normal Kenyan polo player would have 20 horses, would have 30 horses. I think one of them, Gideon Moy, has about 50 horses.
50 horses
Yes,
per person.
per person. And you don't get any kind of, you don't get any financial, what do you call this, leverage in terms of playing the game.
Right.
So it's a hobby, it's a sport.
It's a
You
sport.
spend on the horses, you spend on the stables where they are, you spend on food, you spend on insurance,
Yes.
a vet, and other things like that. And these horses are also very vulnerable. They're easily maimed and things like that. So
Yes.
that could put a horse down for about 6 months.
Do they get, when you say vulnerable and getting maimed, does this happen during the sport?
During the sport, yes.
So when they knock each other's heads.
They don't really knock each other, but it's, like I said, it's a really fast sport.
Yeah.
If you watch a game of polo, these guys will be cruising at about 50 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
Stop within 2 seconds.
Yes.
Turn, and so it's very interesting, very exciting, but at the same time a bit dangerous, to the horse, in terms of breaking lanes and things like that.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's a sport of integrity. It's looked at as an elite sport because it's the kind of people who come together to play the game.
Yeah.
Very respectable, of course, in the society, and
Right.
of course at a level where they are not only the normal kind of middle to upper class that we have. These are billionaires that we see around.
It's a billionaire sport.
It's a billionaire sport.
Interesting. So
Sports
what makes a good polo player?
So number 1 is riding. You need to be a very good rider. So my partner and I, we've just bought 1 horse. Of course, we are not at that level yet. So we bought 1 horse to start learning how to ride.
Yeah.
It'll take us a minimum of a year to be good riders.
Really?
Yes.
So it's not just a normal
it's
horse
not-
riding that we
exactly.
see, down the streets, down the parks.
No, because you can imagine you're riding a horse and looking, and you still need to have your eye-ball coordination and be able to maneuver the ball, tackle it. Be able to play it against other players.
But this is a sport, obviously, for someone who's been riding horses all their lives.
Yeah, most of the people who get there have been born on the horses. Yeah, if you see, I think at some of the pictures with the polo players, you'll find 9-year-olds playing extremely well.
Yes.
And it's a fast game which there's none gender, none age. So in one team you can find, which actually is which happens today, is because you can find a 9-year-old in the same team with a 72-year-old. There's a 72-year-old who's playing right now.
72-year-old?
Yes.
Interesting.
And in the same team you'll find ladies and gents together. So there's no gender.
There's no gender, there's no age gap,
Exactly,
nothing. Age difference and that.
It's just your skill.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. I should come and join
You
and
should.
see what
definitely should.
happens there.
Yeah.
Now, before I come to the entrepreneurial side of things, because
Yes.
that is what you're here for,
Yeah.
Nelson, I want to find out, are Kenyans taking this sport seriously?
Oh yes, they are. You'll be surprised of how many Kenyans are in the sport, and we're talking about whole families. I'm sure you must have heard of Ralph Nzomo.
I've heard of Robson's Home,
Yes, his whole family plays from his firstborn to the lastborn. So they always make a team, and they're actually one of the best family playing teams out
Interesting.
there.
And who's the youngest in that family?
So he's called Amani Nzomo. He's about 12 years old now.
12-year-old
Yes.
polo player.
Yes, and very good. Very interesting to watch him because it's very short. So he can't even mount his horse. He has to be carried onto it. But once he gets onto it, he's unstoppable. Yeah, he's very, very quick on this.